right, so this is one of those episodes where the plot is not my favorite, but it is a little cool, and the character is what kind of makes it memorable. So you are looking at Supergirl Month, Episode 3, Far From Home. And this episode is, Supergirl and John are training in what I call their danger room, and they somehow get transported 1,000 years into the future. And we see that it's literally just Bouncing Boy and Brainiac 5, voiced by niggas I've never heard of before. So we're just gonna let that be what it is. And I'm already kind of interested. I mean, I really like this episode. I saw this episode when it first aired 20 years ago, second, third. And I was always very much like, man, this was a very logical step for Supergirl. I know she has a big thing in the comics with the Legion, and she has like a little romance with Brainiac 5 during that period. So it was actually kind of a nice step that made sense if this was a Legion show, which I know they had actually planned on doing that for season 3 with Supergirl, but the show got canceled. But I'll talk about that in another video down the line at some point. And I just thought it was cool that they went from, Supergirl and Justice League Unlimited earlier on, where she was going through the identity issues, and this, that, and third, to her finding a home that works for her. And it's nice that they aged her up too, because I it wasn't specifically stated how old she was in the animated show, and it wasn't stated how old she was in Unlimited. So it's nice that in this episode she is 21. It's her birthday. She changed her suit to look like Clark's, and I really loved the dynamic of the episode where Superman's like, "I'm proud of her." I just hate the way they write Superman in Justice League sometimes, because this version of Superman seems a little bit more like he picked up on the Batmanness of everything, and he's proud, but he won't say it. Whereas I feel like most Supermans would go, "I'm proud of you, and you did a great job." I don't like that he didn't say it to her, but that's just me being me. In the end of the episode, he wishes he did. He did say it because he didn't get to say goodbye. She goes to the future. The whole theory of, oh, she comes to the future and then she doesn't make it home, and it's like, but they're not gonna kill Supergirl. And you're like, oh, there's Green Arrow and John. There's Locked. So it's like, okay, she doesn't actually die. She ends up staying back to stay with the Legion and be with Brainy. Now, it's interesting that the other Legionnaires were captured. I'm like, of course, all the other Legionnaires, like Cosmic Boy and Lightning Lad and Saturn Girl and Phantom Girl and Timberwolf, they're all captured because, of course, they are, and some other characters. But the Fatal Five apparently are just so badass that they can just take out the whole Legion every time. I'm like, well, what do y'all do, bro? But it is a solid, interesting episode. Like, I think the episode does a good job of introducing us to the Legion again. I know Dwayne McDuffie had some issues with that, where he was saying like, there's no way that these guys from New Kids in Town, which was, if I remember correctly, it was Cosmic Boy, Saturn Girl, and Chameleon Boy. He's like, there's no way these guys are 21 years older than where we see them in New Kids in Town, but theoretically they would have to be if it's the 31st century. So I think he said it's like 2979 or something like that, just to kind of like, something like that. But it is cool because they end up getting John, and the whole dynamic of they have Green Lantern. They don't really need Brainiac and Bouncing Boy if they have Green Lantern, who's the most powerful. And Brainy saves her and doesn't save Green Lantern. And it's like, oh, well, you saved her instead of John because you like her. I felt like that was kind of fast. Like, I felt like that whole romantic dynamic between her and Brainiac 5 just kind of just is there, but there really isn't anything built up to it. I mean, again, 22-minute episode. I definitely don't like Far From Home more than, say, Little Girl Lost or Fearful Symmetry or anything else revolving around Supergirl, but I do think it's a logical end to her character arc in the DCAU, was putting her in the future with Brainy and the Legion, because she didn't really have a home to herself. Like, Supergirl was on Krypton and it blew up, and then she went missing and everything. She lost her family in that situation. As we pointed out in Little Girl Lost, it was like her introduction, but she was also trying to adjust to being human. And then in Justice League Unlimited, Fearful Symmetry happens, she is pretty much going through an identity crisis the whole season, with Galatea and all that other stuff. And she doesn't know if she's even real in that regard. And then there's Far From Home, where she tends to find a home that works for her. And I think that's a logical way to end her character arc. And I know this episode seems to be popular, but also not popular. Like, I know some people don't think this episode really works. And I think the episode works if you're looking at it from she wants to find her own place. Granted, I don't think this episode is like amazing. It's not a top 10 Justice League Unlimited episode, but I do like the episode. Like, I think it's interesting to have, John work with the Fatal Five unintentionally while, he pretty much almost kills Kara, even though what he does to her would not wipe her out the way it did. And, they set up the cool Crisis on Infinite Earths cover because it's instead of Superman holding her, it's John holding her. And like, okay, I see what y'all did there. And Green Arrow, being Green Arrow, is just the best character pretty much all the time. He's just, I love that he checks Superman's like, you should tell her. And it's like, I wish no, don't tell her I'm proud of her. That's a job for Superman. It's like, I just love Green Arrow. I love Ken Shriner as Green Arrow. Like, the episode just flows well. And then, Green Arrow's also the one that kind of calls out Brainy as like, oh, you like her. And it's like, call me Cupid. I never miss. It's like, yo, Green Arrow is just amazing, just all the time. John, I felt like John was kind of like a device in this episode. Like, he was there for the emotional weight of, oh, I knew I saw what I was doing, but I couldn't stop myself, and he, the emotional weight of it all, but not that much afterwards. Like, I just think that like John's here, and I love the fact that John and Supergirl have their little moment together because initiation is like, John kind of like, you need to get it together and act like you got some sense, or I'm going to kick you out the league. And I don't really care about that. Like, I love that we go from that to this. And I think that is just beautiful that John is the one training her. He's happy that she found her place. He just cares about her as like a protege. And I like that whole part a lot. And I like the fact that it ends on a joke of like, oh, she found some boy she's interested in, and Soups is like, who's the guy? And it's like, oh well, and they just don't say because they don't want him to know it's a Brainiac. So it is, in my opinion, a solid episode. Like I said, I know fans don't think it works. Some fans don't. Some fans do. I think if we're gonna go by like biggest things, it is definitely the first time Kara finds herself in a place where she's not compared to Superman. Like, she's not just Superman's cousin. She is Supergirl in the future, and her legacy extends far beyond Clark's shadow. Like, she is Supergirl. She's not Superman's cousin. She's not Little Soup. She's Supergirl, and she has her own image now. Even though the episode points out she's proud to be Superman's cousin because she changes her suit to look more like his, and it's adorable looking and it's awesome. And it just has this inspiration for future generations. Like, the Legion obviously exists because of the Justice League, and they're inspired by you know these heroes centuries later, and it's it's just a Supergirl story. Like, I can't really. The emotional focus is on Kara, and whether she truly, but like it's like, does she really belong in the present, or is her future somewhere else entirely? And then it ends with her being in the future. So it's like Far From Home is that moment where Supergirl finally just steps out of Superman's shadow. The future doesn't see her as just Superman's cousin. They see her as a legendary hero who has actions that would inspire generations later on down the road. So it is a solid episode. And it's a solid conclusion for Supergirl and the DCAU, in my personal opinion. So let me know how you guys feel down below. Like, comment, subscribe for more, and I'll see y'all on the next.